Hey everyone, on this episode of The Broker Link, we are with Ethan Oles. He is the new agent director here at the Brokerage Inc. We're going to be talking about setting up a career in insurance. What are the pros and cons? What options are available? Income and much more. So stay tuned. Okay, Ethan, how you doing, man?
Great, Gillen. Really good since the last time I was here in your studio. It's nice to be back.
Here in the brokerage studio?
Here in the brokerage studio.
Well, for those of the people out there that don't know who you are, tell us about your background, what you're up to. Tell us about the brokerage, just whatever you want to tell us.
Cool. Yeah, no, I appreciate being back. For those who don't know, I am the new agent director here at the brokerage. Work with, up to about 4 people now with the addition of our call center, which I'm sure we'll get into a little bit. So I kind of manage myself and my partner, Miss Louise, who's awesome on the recruiting side. And then we have Dave and Crystal here, who are kind of the foundation of what we're trying to accomplish on our internal call center side. Things are going well. The first of the year been really, really good, although we hit this pandemic thing and it's kind of made a shift. Still doing a lot of recruiting out there for our agents, but it's gone more one-on-one, more web-based, doing a lot of webinars instead of, hosting community meetings.
Right. Lots of webinars.
Lots, every day.
Every day. We're all webinared out, I think, at this point.
Yeah, and to that question, we've been having some really good success setting up one-on-one agent demos with new agents, being able to share our screen, being able to, just walk them through the website, look at some of the benefits of partnering up with us.
Awesome. Well, let's get into the topic today of setting up a career in insurance. I think it is everyone knows about insurance. But it's not really something that mommies raise their children to want to be, right? It's not a part of the box or the path of like, go to high school, get good grades, go to college, get your degree, and then do an insurance career. That's not really a general path.
I think it used to be. I think you said, hey, Rod might be on here this afternoon, our life director. I know that when he was in school, he got a degree in insurance, but right. No, certainly even when I graduated 7 years ago, I don't remember seeing that on the prereqs of picking a major out. But
yeah. Well, and you mentioned, obviously this virus that we've all heard about 1,000 times now. I won't stress the virus, but we will probably hint here that not every industry is doing well right now. But there are certain industries that kind of ride the waves of the economy, recessions, whatever goes on. This is one of those.
Yeah, I would say you're certainly right. It's unfortunate that it has hit other industries harder. We're lucky that we've been, considered an essential business, still providing a really good, resource for clients across the country, really. But with us too, it's a good opportunity for the brokerage to expand a little bit and start recruiting some additional agents for those who may be, unfortunately, furloughed or may have lost their job. Mm-hmm. This is an awesome opportunity where, yes, you may be sitting at home, worrying about, hey, where am I going to go next? But there's an opportunity right here that they could turn to, get the contracting, the appointments in place, become knowledgeable while we're sitting there. Like you were just saying, we're putting on webinars every day so the agents can gain knowledge, kind of, think about how they can market themselves digitally right now. Mm-hmm. And hopefully what that will do is when we get out of this, this pandemic that we're in, hopefully they'll be ready to go and start getting some business right away.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So what everybody's going to want to know about is money. How much money can I make? And sure. That's where I think this industry, and you'll probably speak on this, is so unique because we tend to think about, and I just go back and forth. I'm reading a book right now called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And it's about the path that I guess society sets up for us versus kind of thinking outside of that box. Insurance to me is one of those things that is outside of the box. Like you think of like doctors, lawyers, the professions out there, and we think of them as big earners, and they are. Sure. But a lot of people don't know there's this insurance agent down the road that's doing even better than they are.
Making probably more money than that doctor
And
is.
most people don't know that. Not that that's guaranteed, but maybe speak to that.
Yeah, no, great question. And to your point, hey, it's not guaranteed, but it's certainly achievable. We do have plenty of really good agency partners that do. They make a substantial income. And to your point, is somebody going to come in here in their first year, get to that doctor lawyer level? Probably not. But did they go and start their first year of residency? No, they didn't. They had to work to get there. And those agents who are willing to put in that work, put in the grind, that day-to-day hustle, those are the ones that are going to find that success. They're going to find the success in word of mouth, other agents talking about the type of support that they're getting from Gillen or type of support they're getting from Ethan over there, which will then help them grow their agency, help them that agent grow, their book of business. And it really does, and again, we talk about so many different product lines that we offer here. But let's just stick with on the Medicare side. Over the course of a year, 2, 5, 10 years down the line, when you're talking about earning continuous renewals and those renewals, going up each year, maybe it's $5, $10 per year, but they do continue to increase. And again, it's very lucrative, and there's a lot of money to be made. But I will tell you that, just from a brand new agent going out and getting their license, coming in, we have a lot of really good, realistic tools, realistic, reports that, hey, if this is the type of, work that you're going to put into it, this is the type of return you're going to get back. And here's what you can expect in your first year, in terms of income. And then, based upon that year moving forward, your renewals. So again, it really is something that somebody, shouldn't look at it as, hey, I'm going to go out there, man, and I'm going to just become, the next millionaire in this first year. Just like anything in life, it takes hard work. But I'm telling you, that hard work can pay off. And I've seen it in some of our agents, and it's really, really awesome to see.
When you talk about seeing it, I'm going to share a little example real quick of an agent that I recently spoke with, and I was just like astonished by his story. And I know you probably have a couple as well, agents that you've seen like, man, they've done really well. Sure. There's an agent down in South Texas that we work with. I won't name him. He was a school teacher, and he did this for years. Wow. And he just had a friend that was like kind of getting into insurance, and he was like, I make like $50,000 a year as a teacher. He's at the the highest level, $50,000. He started probably at like $38,000.
Probably, yeah.
This was like South Texas, lower income.
Former
areas.
Educator, I know, yeah.
So he kind of gets into it, and his friend talked him into doing it on the side. He's like, you know what, I'm going to try it. So he gets his license, and in the first year, he made $50,000 from his side hustle of insurance.
Wow.
And he was like, I can do this part-time and make the same money I'm making at the school. And he sort of figured, then he got into Medicare. That was just life insurance.
Wow.
So then he got into Medicare, and he was like, whoa, you can really earn some money with this. So after 2 years, he decides, you know what? I made a $50,000 on the side the last 2 years. I'm going to jump in full ahead. And he quits his teaching job. First year makes $150,000.
That's incredible.
Now, I'm not saying that's going to be everybody, but these stories are real people. Yeah. And it takes a certain person.
Yeah, and I'm sure this individual, I'm sure it wasn't just, hey, I made a few calls on the weekend and it worked out. I'm sure he put in the work. I'm sure he was, looking at this as a side hustle. That's awesome. That's a really cool story. And certainly, yeah, I've got a few different agents. Again, won't name them. One of them in particular has been on this podcast before, so you guys could probably go back and find out who that is. But this individual, partnered up with us in November of 2017 after just getting his license. And his first AEP, he had one carrier. I think he wrote probably about 35, 40 pieces of business, which is just really awesome for that one particular carrier. But over the course of the last, 2.5 years, I've seen his business go from, one carrier with Medicare to grow to where he is cross-selling life insurance. He's got radio spots out there where he's promoting life insurance. He goes back through and he calls his existing block of business and asks if there's anything else that they need. And his career has really, skyrocketed. Not only that, too, you're talking about income. There's some amazing trips to be won out there through carriers. This agent in particular, I think he got to go to Hawaii. I think he's been to Hawaii and over to Europe.
And this person you're talking about, there's another trip he's getting to go to pretty soon.
It's just
from
awesome.
Omaha. Mutual of Omaha is giving him a trip too.
No, it's just awesome. And those are, again, this is real life. I mean, I watched, this guy come in to our office from day one, having no sort of insurance background, to being placed around the team we have here at the brokerage, getting the tools that he needs, and has grown his business. And yeah, like you said, he's getting another one. It sounds like that's awesome.
Yeah. So that gets us into the lifestyles, work styles topic. You think of like the rich people of the world, right? What do you imagine? You imagine a guy on a golf course, right?
Guy on a golf course.
In the middle of the day.
Smoking a cigar.
On a Monday. Because he can. Not that that's going to be every insurance agent, but when you are an entrepreneur like that and you have developed this renewal income, you do get flexibility.
Yeah, no doubt you do. What I have found too, and I think a lot of agents feel the same way, I have found that the more successful agency get, the more and more drive they have. You certainly, to your point, hey, when you're having that renewal business that's paying you, $25,000, $50,000, $75,000 a year alone, yeah, there's certainly some freedom and flexibility to spend more time with your family, spend more time out there on the golf course if that's what you're wanting to do. At the same time also, I do think that there are a lot of opportunity and a lot of what I see as a lot of agents will continue to grow their business because they see the opportunity with new agents coming in. But yeah, no, circling back around, man, we've had, an individual here that ultimately went out on his own and focuses on his Medicare business, does really well. And he did it. Hey, he wanted to spend more time with his family, watch his sons grow up. And, I think there's something we said about that. I sound like a millennial right now, but, long-term in life, it's, I think a lot of people are rethinking sitting behind a desk 8, 9, 10 hours a day with where we're at in 2020. There's so much that can be done. And yes, to your point, there's a lot of freedom and flexibility. You can get up in the morning and grind 7 days a week. Some agent partners out there, hey, they're doing this maybe part-time where it's 1 or 2 calls maybe here and there, and they're okay with that. But every agent is different. And to the question I get a lot of, especially newer agents, hey, what can I expect in my first year? How am I going to do? It's totally dependent upon, the agent. And then we've got tons of good examples, and we have the game plan to get you and help you reach those goals. But ultimately, it's going to be up to that independent agent to get out there and hustle and earn that right to go out and play golf on a Monday at 10 o'clock.
Right. And I think that's certainly the ideal situation. But let's get real for a second, right? Because you talk to new agents every single day. You are like the guy, like the gatekeeper, into this industry. I think with any business, we've talked about, if you guys want to listen to another podcast, the last one Ethan was on, captive versus independent agent, we discussed, and let's just highlight some of that real quick. We discussed that the captive agent, they work sort of more of an office job in a way. They work for a company, base salary plus commission.
Yeah. Sometimes you may not even get a base salary, but
right. Yeah, that's a whole nother topic of discussion. Why would you do that? But if you're gonna do captive, do it right.
Yeah.
But they, there's some benefits to that. Like they get leads generally funneled to them, and it's more of a safety net type of a job. The cons are that you're very capped at what you can earn, and then also that business is not yours.
Yep.
If you go the independent route, which is really what this podcast is about, what is an independent agent's career option? You're on your own, so there's no base salary coming your way. You're fronting the cost of your advertising and your marketing and all that, but there is absolutely no limit, zero on your potential.
Absolutely.
No limit. And so some people like that challenge. Some agents, like you've said, they start captive, they transition. But really, I think a lot of agents, if you're wanting to get started in this industry, and that's what our next little segment here, we're going to talk about how to get into it. You might want to keep your day job and get it going on the side.
Yeah. No, I think to your point, if an individual is in a position to start, their insurance career more as a part-time, I would highly recommend doing so. And I just say that just based upon the thousands of conversations I had, in that a lot of people, hey, myself included, if income stopped tomorrow, I'm going to have some questions. And then a lot of individuals I feel out there are kind of the same way. Whereas if you can keep some sort of an income coming in while trying to grow and develop your business, just again, in my experience, I think that you'll probably find more success. To your point, hey, we've got a lot of really great co-opting opportunities. We've got a lot of great, generic mail pieces, and there's a lot of things we can do to help an agent grow that won't cost them anything. But to your point, if you do have even just a little bit of capital to get started, well, certainly it's going to help. But, a lot of agents don't have that. And again, to your point, if you do have even a full-time job or just a straight part-time job, insurance is a great way to earn additional income. Maybe you don't have any intention of doing this full-time. Maybe you just said, hey, what can I do to earn an additional income, as a lot of us should be doing and thinking about, especially everything going on right now with the pandemic. But so that could be a great opportunity for somebody looking for something on the side that, again, you can come and work for an organization like the brokerage. We're not going to pound you, on the phone by saying, hey, where's all the business? Why aren't you writing more production? This is something that you can incorporate day to day, where, again, it's not something that you have to meet production goals. So yeah, again, circling back to your question, I think that if an agent tells me, hey, I've got, this part-time gig, I love it, because that's going to earn them some income, keep, rent paid, mortgage paid, things like that, while they can, develop this. Because traditionally in a more captive environment, yes, you're going to be coming in there Monday through Friday. You're going to sit down at a desk. Hey, 11 o'clock. Hey, it's time for some training. They'll bring you into the training room, train you for an hour. We have that, and probably, in my opinion, better training with the direction of everything that's going. Again, digital. I know we've been doing a ton of digital webinars. We have that training, but that it takes a different person to be able to sit at home and say, I'm going to train myself and I'm going to start this myself. Some people out there, and they'll need somebody to say, hey, this is what we're going to do. And, quite frankly, I've got no problem telling an agent, hey, I want you to be successful. And if that means going and working for a captive environment, then, hey, maybe down the line we can partner up on the independent side. Then I'm going to tell someone that, because I don't want them to get into a situation where they're calling me 6 months later, 4 months later going, Ethan, I'm not making any money. What's going on here? So, yeah.
Well, in that book I was talking about, the author Robert Kiyosaki says, keep your day job, but mind your business. Mind your own business. And not that that's for everybody. That's not what I'm suggesting. But I'm saying, like, if you're in that situation, you're trying to get in the insurance industry, we're telling you, like, honestly, and of course we're going to be biased, but the independent route's the best route. Okay.
I mean,
if you're trying to earn a lot of money.
Absolutely.
And grow your own
business.
And
if you want to be your own boss, if you want to be an entrepreneur, absolutely. Some people, they may not be looking for that.
Right.
But if that's what you're looking for, 100%.
Right. And we've had countless stories, and that's why I just want to set the expectations in reality. These earning potentials we're talking about, they're real. We have agents that make over $1 million a year. Real story. We have several like that own these agencies, and our agency partners, they're killing it. But we also had many stories, even one of your coworkers that decided, hey, I'm just going to do my own thing and just start from scratch, and it didn't work. There wasn't enough capital.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my partner, Miss Louise, love her to death. She worked for, and I don't think she'd mind me saying this, she worked for Humana for 20 years. When ACA came into effect, her position, she was essentially laid off, and hey, she got right back out there, got partnered up with an agency. It was an independent agency. I won't even say it's similar because it wasn't similar. It wasn't a good fit for her. But she found out that she was spending some of her own money, spending her own capital. Did well. She wrote really some good cases, but it's about getting out there. It's about that day-to-day grind. It's not leaving an appointment and going, awesome, this is so great. This is, I'm set for the week. No, it's, hey, how am I going to get my next one? It's leaving that appointment going, hey, I work on renewal business, Mr. and Mrs. Client, who else can I talk to? Have them give me a call. But yeah, absolutely. Personal experience, a lot of it around here, actually.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Now, in this last little segment here, a little call to action for the agents or the potential agents out there. Sure. How do you get started in the industry? Let's give them practical tips, like legitimate. Where do you get the course, to learn? How does the certification work?
Absolutely.
Let's talk about that.
Perfect. I'll share exactly the way I went through it because, again, I was probably a little bit unorthodox. Most people that I talk to go and get their license because they're going to work for Farmers, Liberty Mutual, one of those, bigger companies. Yeah. For myself, I knew that I was going to be pure independent. I'm going to partner up with the brokerage. I'm working here. So what I did is I went to, there's a course, and there's a company out there called Kaplan University, Kaplan. You can go directly to their website. They have it, and again, right now, because we're in a pandemic, they usually have courses that you can go and sit in for 3 days, which is exactly what I did. Right now, they are offering a similar function, but it's all web-based. So it's 2 or 3 days where, from 8 to 5, you're in front of your computer, and then somebody is essentially teaching in front of a group. But I went through the course. I personally really like that. Everybody's different. Again, I'll share some of the other ways as well. But I liked being in front of someone, and not only that, it helped me out a lot because that individual had been doing this for a number of years, and they were able to go in and say, hey, you guys need to mark down and highlight this question. This will be on your exam. Mm-hmm. So was able to take really good notes. It was a really good, fast 3-day course. They cover the entire manual for you, and then essentially what you get access to is you get access to their online quiz banks. You get access to a couple of pre-tests as well. And you get 2.5 hours. Well, here in Texas, you get 2.5 hours to go and take the Texas Department of Insurance license. So you have 2 practice exams that are 2.5 hours. The 125, 150 questions that are on there. And again, you can go and take the class, which was awesome. There is a little bit of cost associated to that. I think roughly with that, manuals and online access prior to taking the exam, I think it cost me right around maybe $300 for everything. But I have talked to a lot of individuals, and I'm not sure if you did this, Gillen, because I know you have your license, that they just got access to the online quiz bank or just got access to the manuals. You can learn and teach yourself everything that's in there. A lot of people do that. I wanted the opportunity to go out and sit in a classroom. What's really neat about their online course is if somebody's coming into this and they're going, okay, maybe a little bit nervous, there's a quiz bank of 1,700 questions. Now, all of those questions probably are duplicated multiple times throughout there. But my point being is you can actually see every single question that's going to be on or potentially on the exam. Now, again, that's a ton of questions to go through, but you do have access to essentially every single question, and they break it down by sections, whether it's health, life, ancillary products like dental and vision plans.
And a lot of questions about annuities, too.
Annuities, yes.
Which no one understands. You just have to wing it.
Yeah, you hope you don't get a test with a ton of annuity questions.
That was my test.
So yeah, you can go ahead and do that. You can take the practice exams when you feel comfortable because there's not a time limit. You can go to a website called Pearson Vue, VUE. and you can actually schedule your exam. Again, a local here to Dallas-Fort Worth, there were probably 6 different testing centers depending upon where you were located. I just scheduled a time. The cost is roughly $60 to go and take your test. It is like Fort Knox in there. You take out everything, keys, wallets, put them all up. They look, if you have long sleeves, they make you pull them up. But then you go into a room and, you can really focus in. You get down on a desk and, you put headphones on and you can just really focus in and, take the exam. Once it's passed, you get your license. You're free. And the great thing, and I want people to know, is that license is always yours as an agent. Nobody owns that. If I've talked to agents who have said things, oh, I'm working for this agency, they've got my license. And no, they don't own your license. You're the only person that does. Lots of different ways. Certainly give me a call. I've got emails that I can send out to prospects that walks you right through with links directly to, the website. Once you get done and pass the exam, you do have to go get your fingerprints taken, which is pretty easy. I think I did mine at like a Sylvan Learning Center. I walked in at one of those type, math learning centers, and they just took my thumbprints and, easy peasy. But at that point, you essentially can go and start partnering up with lots of different carriers or lots of different lines of insurance as well.
What about that agent out there that says, "But Ethan, I don't have a college degree, man. I feel kind of limited."
Yeah, no.
What's the good news for them?
I think that should not hold anyone back. And quite frankly, and it's a good question. I think that question should never hold anybody back from trying to do anything.
Absolutely.
But especially in this industry, do not let something like that hold you back.
Well, and I want everybody to know that it's not a requirement.
Yeah, no,
in the first place.
Absolutely, it is not. I'll tell you this. I was fortunate. I had parents that helped me get through school and everything like that. And, I was fortunate to get a degree. But when I came in here, it was like going back to school, sitting in that classroom. This was all brand new to me. And I, had to sit there and go through the manual and study and take quizzes multiple times to really retain information. So as long as you are open and willing to learn, no, don't let that hold you back. You'll be just fine because everybody coming into this industry is feeling the exact same way. You can become a product expert probably within just a couple of months, and probably no more than a lot of individuals who have a college degree out there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So just want to encourage you all with that. Like, don't let anybody that told you growing up, like, I just want to say, like, I feel like insurance is unique in the sense that anybody can do it, but only a few people excel.
That's a good point.
But nothing can hold you back. So if you want to get into it, literally, we're talking about getting your license costs, all in with your course and everything, $400.
Yep.
Which is a lot less than a degree. You take the course, get it going, and then their next step is they work with a field marketing organization like the brokerage, and that's how you get your products.
Yeah. And I would, and perfect point, Gil, and I would say this, if somebody is out there and listens to this and is still like, hey, man, $400 is a lot, give me a call. 469-635-6743. I would be glad to talk to you. We are constantly developing, co-opting opportunities. Again, if somebody's got the drive out there, believe me, I would love to be able to talk to you about how we can help get your license for you, and then get you going here. Typically we've got programs like, incentives where if you come in and you sell, 4 pieces of business, we'll pay 50%, we'll co-opt with you. But I would encourage anybody, because it is, there is some money, there is some capital involved, but anybody who is listening to it and, wants to learn a little bit more, hey, give me a call directly. I'd be happy to speak to you and see what we can do for you.
Yeah, so you get that license, and from there, if you work with an independent agency like the brokerage, like I said, if you got a day job right now, or you got a part-time job, whatever your deal is, let this thing grow, Don't stress yourself out. If you have a job, I mean, that's just kind of my advice, just
Absolutely.
Speaking on some of what we've seen agents where they get into trouble. Keep paying your bills. Don't let that stress you out. Take that time to see our webinars, our learning center, learn, educate yourself. There's also a thing called continuing education that you'll have to do. Every 2 years, you got to meet a certain amount of credits.
Provided you're working with us, we've got CE cards. We can get you through that at a very low cost. But yeah, good point though.
Right, and you just keep learning, get the support that you need from the brokerage, and let this thing grow organically. And eventually, it's going to replace your income. Look at the agents like we've talked about.
Absolutely.
People that it's just changed their lives. There's educators, teachers, preachers, teachers, freaking pretty much every profession. There's somebody, people that were just in sales. Another great thing about insurance that we haven't hit on, and I think would be cool to probably close it out with this, is the concept of renewals.
Absolutely.
If you sell cars, you can do okay. You know, a lot of these sales jobs are the same way. It's like you sell a product. You don't have to have a degree to do it. If you're good at it and you hustle, you can be successful. But once you've sold the car, you sold the car. You could sell iPhones. Once you sold it, you sold it. Not the case with insurance.
Absolutely. Yeah, you know, and bringing up books, I love the book. I love Carl Sewell's book, Customer for Life. But you're kind of right. You know, you hope to retain. You know, you sell a car, you hope to retain that customer. But in today's world, how often are we buying cars? Probably not every single year. But yeah, in this
not
business,
if you buy a Toyota.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But yeah, in this business, yeah, definitely something that pays you year after year for business that you wrote years ago. If that doesn't perk your interest, I'm not sure what will. You know, if you're talking about taking care of individuals that are going to be living longer, that could potentially continue to pay you, and you're ultimately taking care of them for 5, 10, 15 years, that's pretty lucrative. And especially, you know, on the Medicare side, Medicare Advantage, there are really strong renewals, MedSup side as well. But on Medicare Advantage specifically, in years 2, 3, 4, 5, that's when things, from what I've seen, really start to get really lucrative. Hey, you know, it takes, like we've said all day here, it takes a little bit of a hustle. It takes getting out there and getting your name out there. But you start taking care of 1, 2 individuals, especially if we're talking more of the senior market, they're going to talk to their friends, you know, family members, whoever, and your phone's going to start ringing. And yeah, again, when you've got 250 people on the books and paying you $255 in January, yeah, that's a pretty nice way to start out your year, to go and say, hey, I've got already this income coming in.
Well, I want to close with this, following up on what Ethan just said. We have a marketer here. I won't name her, but she's kind of done it all. She started kind of doing it on the side, insurance on the side. She grew it, did it full time, grew up this big book of business, and some people decide they like working for an employer, so they go back to that world. But they've built up this book of business. So we have an employee here at the brokerage. She has, I don't know what she makes here. I'm sure she does well, but I know for a fact she's got at least $5,000 a month also coming in renewals. And it's just like, wait, you don't even have to work a job and you still choose to.
Yeah.
But that's what you call keep your day job, mind your business. And I just want to close with that thought, because, you know, we're talking about, if you're new at this, you might be starting a journey, but that journey can take you all kinds of places. Let's say you're younger right now, maybe you're in your 30s or 40s. You do this for the next 10 years, and then, you know, you're in your 50s and you decide to do things differently. Guess what? It's your business.
100% stays with you.
Stays with you.
And we just did a good way to close out there, Gillen. We just did a succession planning webinar not too long ago. So if you got to 50, 60 and you said, hey, I want to give this to my kids, hey, keep earning the income.
Yeah.
Keep it in the family if you want to. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, great. I hope this helps everybody out there listening, thinking about insurance, or maybe new agents that just got their license and you just needed some encouragement to see what's possible. Maybe you haven't really heard what's possible. You just got your license because somebody said it's a good idea. Hope this encouraged you. So make sure that you stay tuned for more podcasts. Check us out at thebrokerageinc.com. Subscribe to our YouTube, our Facebook. We're really trying to grow on LinkedIn as well. So we want to connect with you there. So stay tuned for more.
I just want to say one more thing, Gillen.
Yeah.
Hey, if anybody does watch this and they do want more information, please give me a call. My phone number is 469-635-6743. I'd happy to talk to you about getting your license. Maybe you have it already, but yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right. Well, let's just close with that. Y'all have a good day.